was that, but I think that they had, it was probably like they had left a message or something overnight and then there just wasn't, I don't know how it happened, but is that something that I get fully reimbursed for, or is that only a half?
Yeah, that's a good question. So as far as what you get paid for, if it's within 24 hours, you get your full rate.
Mm-hmm.
If it's less than 24 hours, if it's less than 24 hours, am I right, Sam? Do you want to clarify? I feel like I might mess this up.
So if it's less than 24 hours, you do get paid your full rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if it's just canceled and off your schedule and then you just, you're not
Okay,
making
so it's
paid.
24 hours.
What's the cancel rate, the half rate?
But yeah, that's what I was confused about.
That's like, that's what we need to change. That's what we're changing. We're gonna be changing it so that if it's within 24 hours, you would be paid your full rate. If it's just anything else, you're gonna be notified and you're not gonna be at the center for it.
Yeah, okay, perfect, that's what I was wondering. Yes.
And that's always a good question to also just send an email to say, I have a question about this. If you're ever wondering about that, just shoot us an email so you're not sitting and wondering if I'm going to get paid for this.
Yeah.
It's helpful if we just communicate. One of our core values is open, proactive communication, so just really upholding that is important. So I appreciate that.
Sure.
Megan, do you want me to can I segue into communication while we're talking about this?
Yeah. Did you want to talk about scheduling or Sam?
Yeah. Sam, do you want to talk about scheduling?
I think that was.
Yeah, I was wondering about scheduling. I think one of the main things is for time off requests. The more notification that you can give us, the better that we can get it covered. I mean, we ask from our clients that they give us at least 2 weeks notice, and I think that just to keep that respectful just relationship with them, that we should give them as much notice as we can. So we ask for that. And then the requests are guaranteed until approved. So whenever you submit them to me, I pass them on to Megan and look at the schedule, make sure we can work them out. But the sooner you submit it, the sooner what more time we have to make sure we can make those arrangements so that you can go out of town or whatever it is. Yep. And then if for any reason you have an event on a Saturday or something, and you're not going to be able to work those 2 hours that you had originally given us your availability, just let me know, and just make sure that if you need to change your schedule for any reason, just let me know so we can keep it updated, because we don't want to make a promise that you're going to meet with a student and then you say, oh, I can't, I have something.
Yeah, I think that comes up like when you haven't had sessions booked on a certain week, but you're like, well, I know that I have my availability open on Saturdays from 9 to noon, but like this week I'm actually going to be doing something. So that's helpful for us. And we know we can tell as a new student, well, we can't start you this week, but we do have that appointment available starting next week. So that way we don't have to like have lag time with clients waiting, contact you and hear back from you, but we have a current schedule and we can get back to them. Fine.
Awesome, that leads me to communication. So actually if we can turn to the FAQs for communication. These are good questions that you all have asked us in the past. So for instance, what if the parent talks to me too long after the session? And I actually I'm gonna pick on Carolyn here for a bit, because she's really excellent at communicating with clients, and I've noticed that when I sit in the office with quick, concise, direct, and see, I gotta go to my next session. You know?
Yeah.
And
You're like head back and then
it's very clear. Like this is what we talked about, and then she always ends by saying, I would like this in my session report too. So then there's a good paper trail for us to make sure that that's logged. So just in this, we really appreciate your communication with clients. However, it's really important to use the last 10 minutes of your session time to write your session report. And the session report should take 2 minutes, refining notes from the current session, prep any quick materials you may need to prep, or quick copy requests if you're at the La Jolla office, or just send a quick email. That's a really good time to also catch up on emails, those last 10 minutes. And then I like this statement over here, be polite but assertive in letting parents know that you have to complete your session reporting. If you have any tips, I'm like I said, Carolyn's really masterful at that. Address any questions or comments in a response to the session report, email, or that parent can communicate directly with the front office. You can also offer to speak with the parent for the first or last 10 minutes of the 15-minute session, explaining that this will use some of the student's session time, letting them know. And especially if it's your very first session with a student, just doing a quick verbal reminder that our sessions are actually 15 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes, because sometimes they'll say, but I didn't know, so I came here at this time. So just a quick reminder to them. If a parent seems to have an important concern or information to share about the session or student, and you decide to take the time to speak with him or her, which is important, that's customer care is important to us, please log this in your admin notes so we can apply the additional admin hours to compensate you. So don't feel like you have to say, but I gotta go. Like if it's like, hey, this happened in my family this week. Uncle is really ill. We really want to make sure that we have. I just wanted to let you know this could be affecting my child. That's important. We want to be able to honor that and not say I gotta rush actually. So just use your discretion over there, and we trust you to be able to do that. Any questions about that one? Second question. What if a parent asks me to change the session time or what I should be working on with the student before or after my session? And here I want to separate between two types of scheduling questions that a family may ask. So if a parent has an ongoing scheduling or learning plan question, for example, can you change your session time or duration? So can you change it to like, instead of this time, can you meet at this time? Actually, this works better for us. Any question like that, that's really important that requests like that go through the office manager. So they have to go through Sam, and that you will let Sam or the office administrative staff know. We don't want to put that onus on you to be able to reschedule something, especially because we are looking at your calendar and we're handling the master calendar where we could assign a session right before or after, and we don't really want to burden you with making those big decisions like that. Especially when you don't have a vision of who might get affected with that change. Send a note via email or an admin note to relay the parent communication, and just let the parent know that's a great question. I will let the office know and they can take care of that request. So that's an ongoing question. A learning plan question could be, can you please work on reading comprehension from here on, even though your learning plan says it's quantitative reasoning, for instance. So if I've assigned a learning plan to Emma to work on quantitative reasoning with a student, and this parent comes and says, hey Emma, from the next session I'll just work on verbal reasoning, but that's not what my learning plan says. And so to really hold us, give us, and really bring fidelity to all these programs, we have to use it the way it's intended. If that's a valid concern, the parent wants to do that, it's great just to let us know and we can make that change internally. I usually have my protocol is I talk to the parent. I pick up the phone and say, hey, tell me a little bit about why you want to do this. And maybe Emma's told me she doesn't want to do that. Maybe that's not Emma's area of expertise or interest. Why am I going to burden Emma with doing that? So then all of our instructional matches, our programmatic material choices, our strategies come from a place of really wise decision making and looking at your interest and the student's needs. So we don't want to just make quick changes without a thought process that goes into it. Can you all think of a question that maybe a quick, like just for this day, do this, and it's okay to do that? Like sometimes where you may have to use your discretion. If a parent says, just for today, can you do a little bit more of this?
Can you help Susie with her math, study for her math test?
Mhm.
Is it coming up on Friday?
Is that kind of coaching plan? Yes, you can. Right? Because then she's bringing her test materials. She's doing that. Right? But, oh, I had a teacher, I had a meeting with a teacher today, and the teacher just said that my child is reading 4 levels behind grade level. Can you just remediate this lesson? No, that's a really important piece of information. Thank you. I appreciate you letting me know, and I hear your concern. That's really alarming. However, I'm going to let Suparna know, and then she can figure out, and then Suparna will probably have a conversation with Megan, and we'll talk about revising the learning plan after a conversation with the parent, reviewing this teacher's notes, all of that. So we want to make really educated decisions.
One thing that would be a good example of when you can integrate schoolwork in to, like, say, an educational therapy or a test preparation session. This is not really part of your learning plan. But, like, if you're working with a student for IC test prep and you guys have been doing that, and the student comes in and goes, I'm super stumped on this math work that I'm doing at school. Can we look at this? Well, chances are that's probably going to be on the test. It probably relates to something you guys have already done or are planning to do. So sure, do it now. Another example for an ed therapy session might be you're working on reading. You have this great Wilson learning plan, we have all these activities planned, but the student comes in and goes, oh, the spelling list from school and I'm so stumped. Well, guess what? Why don't we take a little time, let's practice breaking those words apart into syllables. Let's talk about identifying parts of those words that the student may recognize or rules that they may be able to relate back to the Wilson program. And if not, just kind of jump ahead a little bit and say, hey, remember, you know how we've been learning different rules for these things. I'm going to teach you one of the rules that we haven't gone into yet, but since it's on your spelling test, let's talk about it today. So that's an example where it would relate. Or if the student has, an independent reading book and they're like, I have to read this book for my book report and I'm really stumped on it. You're working with them on reading skills. It may not be part of your kind of decoding-based learning plan, but if you can give them some strategies to go through it, or maybe you talk about, audiobook choices and how they can listen to the book instead. Just addressing it in a way where you're giving them some help for how to solve that problem. Maybe it's a matter of, let's take a look at this, let's read it together, let me see how this sounds for you. And then if you determine this book is way above a child's level, that may be something important to relate to the parent. And especially relate to us, then we can maybe facilitate communication with the teacher to say, we need to step it down, this isn't an inappropriate book for this child at this time. That's really where our value comes into play in advocating for our students. Any other questions about gray areas of when to, kind of veer from the plan, or is that helpful? Good?
And then the second type of distinction is for scheduling questions, is if a parent wants to add session time and there's, for instance, no one at the front desk. Or they come to you on the weekend and they just say, hey, can you do an extra session tomorrow? Are you available? Or can you work an extra 30 minutes today? That is something, again, in the realm of customer care. We want to empower you to be able to address that based on your availability with a parent. And then just add an admin note that Sam will read that just says, we did this, I did this, the parent asked me, I could do it, it was no problem, a place was available, a station was available, I did it, just to let us know so we can compensate you for that. And parents will, and us, we will all really appreciate, and of course your student will appreciate your care and responsiveness if that does happen. So those are my two big scheduling/communication questions. And then what if you get an email? Has this happened to any of you where you get an email from Sam or the admin account that says, it's just a forwarded email where it says, Dear Suparna, great, thank you for your session report. I'm wondering why this spelling came out like this. Can you please help me? And then Sam will send that email, and usually I'm copied on it too. If that's happened to you, can you give me a thumbs up or something like that? Some indication if that's ever happened to you? Okay, the protocol for that is to please respond to the admin account and me. So whoever's on it, just respond to that rather than responding directly to the parent. This one is also saying that we're really working on getting you all off of your personal emails, but we really don't want to be able to give clients access to your personal email accounts to be able to communicate directly with you. We want all communication to go through us if possible, as much as possible. And of course, your prompt response is greatly appreciated. So right here, I have a quick question for you. Is before you leave, if you could put on a sticky note or somehow communicate with me, I think sticky note is fine. What is the best way to communicate with you? What is the best way to reach you that I'm going to be able to get a response? I know that we're going to talk about that in the
We're going to ask you to give us, there's the last page in your packet is something you're going to give it back to us. Today, just make a note at the bottom there, best communication method. And then, yeah. So,
you want to talk about weekend protocol? Megan? And then I think, just to let you all know, we're working on getting email accounts for all of you. That would be the Hoya Learning Works accounts, and then you can have that, and then you can just respond directly. Using that and copy, whoever you need to in the administrative team if you ever need any backup for anything.
as a general rule, just make sure that our assistant director is copied on all communication so that we're in the loop on things. Another note on that though is if you are forwarded an email and you don't know how to respond to it, rather than waiting, which I know I do when I'm think about a response, I'm not sure what to say. These things are usually somewhat pressing, at least in our minds, to be able to get back to clients within 24 hours. So even if you're gonna say, just reply back to us and say, I'm really not sure how to answer this. Can I talk to you at this time or that time? Then at least we can reply to the client and say, oh, we're gonna check in with, this instructor at this time and get back to you on that. Thank you so much for sharing your feedback. And then just to highlight again on the communication bullet points on the front page there. You guys all go back. I just wanna highlight these points. So just remembering that like any urgent scheduling that you can handle, mostly that would be like extending session time, just handle it. It's more pay for you guys, it's more time for you with the student. If you're free, go for it. We're never gonna be angry about that. Just let us know so we can make sure that the calendar matches what we're seeing in the database as far as hours. And then if there are any, changes, requests for future changes, that sort of thing, or with ongoing schedule changes, like I want to change my session from this day to that day, or I want to be doing, an hour and a half instead of 2 hours on this day. Just let the client know, you'll put an admin note in your session report, but they need to notify the front desk, and that all of that stuff does need to go through the front desk. One of those reasons too is just that sometimes parents trying to get kind of sneaky, like they want to just cut down session time here or there, and we need to get back in touch with them and say, your child really needs this time. We're not gonna be able to hit our goals if we go from 2 times a week to 1 time a week. So that is important for it to go through us all. Weekend protocol, we've had a few things as emergencies. We're still working on, I have a ... question mark with who is to contact here. Because at some point here, I'm not gonna want you to use my cell phone to contact me. But with the weekend protocol, at this point, if there is an emergency, you can text me. You guys should all have my cell phone number. It's all in the policies and procedures. That means, you're supposed to be somewhere in the morning for someone and you wake up and you're really sick and you can't get there. No one checks that admin email. Suparna and Sam are not on call for their email, or even the phone at the office on the weekends. So right now we don't have anyone who's staffing the front desk through the weekends. So just make sure you let me know if there is an emergency, and we'll let you guys know as we have a better procedure for that. And yeah.
I have a question. What if, because in the past, parents will still call on the weekends, and is the go-to to always answer if you're available to take a call or no? Or let it go to voicemail?
That's a good question. What do you think, Sam? If they're in the office, do you want them to grab the phone?
I think you can quickly pick it up and say that the admin staff's not in. You can, if you have the time, there's always that notepad beside that you can just take their name and number, and then I can tell them I'll call back on Monday, or either tell them they can call back on Monday. But that would be nice instead of them being frustrated, because I don't feel like all of our clients know that we're not there.
Yeah.
Or maybe they forget, they expect us to be there
Yeah.
because they know instruction goes on
Yeah.
24/7.
I've had parents say oh, I know you guys are open all the time.
Well, the instructors.
Yeah, and I was no.
So,
Okay, that's a good one for us to address. We make a note of that, Sam. We'll need to look at that too for how we address that with our clients. We need to know that we don't have weekend coverage. But yeah, if you can, if it's something too where you're where for a student and you see the client's name pop up on caller ID, of
exactly.
course, please answer it and be you want to find out what's going on with them. Yeah. And even if it happens to be someone else's, student, they're running late and you can run and tell that person, that other instructor that, yeah, we totally appreciate your help with that. What we're working on right now is just getting someone to work the front desk on the weekends, and just looking at how that kind of fits within the budget, all of that. Okay, so we've addressed clarification of billing policies, I think. Communication. I think we talked about just using the admin notes more, and that would be with disappeared materials, things like that. Where is this? Where is that? And we're gonna kind of get into also helping us with organization and cleanup of the office. So the last two things here that I know you guys mentioned, admin time and prep time. So as far as admin and prep time, obviously we do need to keep admin prep time under control because it's not billable time. And when we charge for our sessions, we're planning for the time it covers for supervision and the space and booking the client and all of that. But we do build in a little cushion so that you can have some admin time as you need it for that student. What we want to do is not just have you sitting around twiddling your thumbs. When you're booked for admin time, we'd like to know when you need admin time. If you know, hey, my students generally take, about an hour a week to prep for, and I need that time on my schedule, and I really like it at this day and time. Let us know, we'll add it to your schedule. If it just comes up and we get this request a lot, I think we do like really appreciate it from instructors when they'll just message in an admin note and say, saw some areas of concern come up in today's session. I really like an hour this week or a half hour this week to like look at some other materials. Okay, great. When do you want to do it? Plug it in. So just be proactive in asking about it. I know that it's like a lot of you guys have shared feedback at different times too, of feeling like you don't have time to prep for your students. We don't want you to not feel like you're prepared for your students and for the quality of the instruction that you're getting to decline because you don't feel like you can ask for that prep time or you have that prep time. I mean, if it happens and it's more of like an emergency situation, and last minute and you haven't been able to get it pre-approved, use your discretion. We're probably not going to give you a hard time if it's just one or, like an off case, where a student came in and wanted to try out something different, or, you remember that you really just didn't have time in between this session and that session to get into the office. Just let us know. When you have new students, we're always going to assign you time to prep for that new student, with the idea that you're setting up their binder, you're setting up materials. If you're a new instructor, you're working with Suparna to do that. Once you're past your initial 90 days, you're doing that on your own. And at that point, you should give yourself a good amount of things to work with so that you shouldn't have to do a ton of prep, in the next few sessions. And the way I used to work it for myself is I'd set up a nice binder, and then, we have the copy system so that you can just put a Post-it note in and put it in the box, or, now you put it in an admin note if you're at a remote session, just say, I need more, I'm not, finished Wilson lesson this or that, and I need the next lesson, copy it, scan it, send it to me over here. Or, we just finished Einstein's passage, will you please pick me out another one? Actually, the student really wants something that's about sports. Put it in your note, we'll prep it for you. We don't want you to be spending a lot of time making copies. We'd rather have it done for you and ready to go for your session, so you don't have to be doing that outside of your regular time. When you need help with materials, or you're not sure what to do with it, that's again where you use the admin note, and we all either schedule time to quickly talk with you or chat with you, or if you're in the office to actually show you what you can do with the student. All sound good with that? Any other questions or anything left unaddressed about admin prep time for you? Good, clear, cool. Last one, so talking about having missing materials. I mean, it's hard to keep track of everything in the center, and we have now 3 locations, plus All Hallows Academy, and so we have people going to a lot of different places, and we really would like to keep track of our materials and make sure that they do return back to the center. If something's missing, we're going to replace it. We want to make sure we still have that, so please let us know if you're looking for something. Again, put it in your admin note if it's not there. But also, we really love your help with just making sure that the center is straightened up, organized, tidied up. We do that every day, and going through and sharpening pencils, we try and keep like the desks so organized that like it is a model for students of how you keep an organized workspace. That everybody comes in and thinks, oh, everything's in the right place. I feel like I'm ready to get started to work, instead of like, oh, I feel like I need to like organize everything, make it clean before I start working. So we really would like your help with, at the end of your shift, if there's just a bunch of dull pencils on a desk, or you have a pencil that's this big, throw it away. If there's a bunch of unsharpened pencils, we have bins upstairs and downstairs for unsharpened pencils. And the idea there is, you got a bunch of unsharpened pencils, throw them in there. You don't have to take the time to sharpen them. There should be some sharpened pencils waiting and ready for you if you need to grab some more. Like at the beginning of your shift, if you're looking and you're like, oh, we only have 2 pencils, I don't think that's going to be enough for this child who writes really, presses really hard. So just make sure you have the materials you need, and at the end too, tell your student, oh hey, will you just pick up your trash and help me put the materials away before we leave? Will you just clean off the whiteboard? Give them a little responsibility too. That's something that's a good model. Clean up after yourself. Any questions about that, or any challenges with organization that you've noticed or anything?
We need new pencil sharpeners. They do not work well. I have to use the little, hand sharpen all of them because the 2 electric sharpeners just do not work well, and they just break off every time.
Okay, Sam, let's order some new pencil sharpeners. It's an easy fix. Okay.
I just want to add a quick note to weekend protocol and communication. It's just making sure that we're all on the same page, that our only administrative office is at
Okay, so Sam, or actually Superintendent, working folders and materials.
Yeah, really quickly, just wanted to check in to see, so with all of your students, you have your student binders, and then you have working folders. Yeah, everyone's on the same page about what those two things are? Where currently are we storing working folders? Because I see them in two places. I personally, for my students, I put them in my binder, in my student binder, because I don't have a drawer or anything in my office. But we also have a big filing cabinet in the local office in the downstairs area. We have a big drawer, and people also file by instructor. So I just wanted to see, are those two places okay? Are they working okay? And I'd love to hear at Mission Valley and Carmel Valley what you all do. And if those two are okay, if we can just be consistent in keeping our working folders in those two places, or decide as a group, come to a consensus of what might be if we want to centralize it. The reason I'm asking this is, if Emma is not there one day, she can find a sub-session for her, I need to know where to be able to find her student's working folder as well as her student's binder.
So I think the goal is to come to a consensus of one place where we can standardize
That
where
would
the
be
working
preferable.
folders will be kept, so that we know where those folders are kept. And you guys also should all have, the little like file boxes where you keep your stuff, and a cubby where you can keep that file box. So if you don't have those spaces for your things, check with Sam. We're going to be doing some reorganization up at Carmel Valley. I don't know if we need anything else down in Mission Valley for your stuff, but let us know again if you need space for that. But yeah, I guess the main question is what works best for you guys as a place, so that we know where to go and look if we need to pull your working folder to give it to somebody else for a sub-session.
That drawer seems pretty good in the way. It works pretty well.
Downstairs office, the drawer.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who's working
It
on a
might
portfolio
be-
mostly and doesn't use the drawer?
I keep it in the binders.
Keep it in binders. Do you think it would work for you to use the file cabinet drawer instead?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it needs to be cleaned out. It might need to be. It looks like there's some folders that are just kind of hanging out in there that aren't really in any,
Sam?
I'm not
Got
sure.
it.
I could be wrong on it, but it
No, we'll
looks
check it.
like possibly that like maybe towards the back, there's
It's
just
very
some ones that are
possible.
hanging out.
Let's check that out.
But
Does that sound like that would work then? Yeah, okay. So
And so
we'll go for,
The protocol would be that you pick up the working folder at your first session and then put it back at the end of it.
or at the beginning of your shift, grab it for all of your sessions for that
Yeah.
day, at the end of your shift.
Yeah.
That's what I'm all about. That sounds good. Great. Sam, you want to talk mail folders and scheduling?
Yeah, so for mail folders, right quick, so we need a way to be able to get like hard documents to you, whether they are practice tests or like new student working folders and that sort of thing. So we want to get some feedback. We've been using the mail file folders. Does that work to get it from you? Or to get the materials to you?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Carmel Valley and Mission Valley, can't come to the local office, but we usually send those through like a messenger, but. So, yeah, so it's just really important that you check those each time you come in, because we will put new things in there, whether they're practice test or file folders or, like your copies, yeah, everything. So just make a habit of checking those every day whenever you come in for your sessions. And then the other thing is scheduling. I want to talk about that right quick. So we're in a transition from where our ICE season is ending, and we're hoping to pick up soon with SAT, ACT prep, and then also getting some more ed therapy students in. With that being said, we wanted to get an update of your availability. So I've made this nice sheet for you here, spring availability. So just update it for us, make sure that we have your updated availability. Go ahead, I put a place for vacations if you happen to know of any times that you're already going to be off. This is, like I said, super helpful for us to know with as much notice as possible. And then I also put a spot for us to plan for summer, because it's already coming that time. So summer hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So we try not to do weekends. So,
And actually, just to specify, we run our sessions, like we schedule them Monday through Thursday, and we use Fridays as makeup days or training days or like fun activity days. So if you need, a long weekend off in a certain block, just let us know that you wouldn't be available that particular Friday, but we're looking at your availability to be consistent in any one or both of those summer blocks between Monday and Thursday,
Right.
at least.
So if you'll see my stars there, it says that you must be available for the entire block to be assigned students for that block. This is just saying that you're not going to take like an entire week off. We need consistency for that entire block. And then instructors that are available for both blocks will be given priority whenever we're booking students through the summer. But you can't take a long weekend like Megan said, Friday through Sunday.
Do they work differently, the scheduling? Is it like typically an hour session, hour and a half, kind of like now, or is it like
Most of them are gonna be 2 hours.
2 hours? Okay.
And you can also put a note of communication, what's the best way to reach you on the same piece.
And then another spot down at the bottom is desired number of hours per week. Are you satisfied with what you're getting? Would you like more? Would you like less? So if you could just put that down in there. And then also there's a blank for requests for trainings. So we have like proctoring on the weekends. Maybe what's some more opportunities that we might have?
Oh, we're also looking to train some instructors to actually do our academic skills assessment. So
Oh.
if you have some background in, reviewing IEPs, working with some of that, more clinical data, and you would like to start working with us and feel like writing is one of your strengths, so it's a lot of writing, critical thinking, analysis. If those are some of your strengths and you'd like to get some more work in, a lot of our assessments are mostly booked in the mornings, and then that work is more like administrative work that would fill your daytime hours. Let us know, because we're getting a lot more of those, and with planning for maternity leaves, we're going to be looking for some help with that. Academic skills assessment, so basically what we're doing is, like what they do in the schools, or when they're diagnosing learning disabilities, they have like an intellectual or cognitive side, and then they have an achievement side. So we do more of the achievement side, and we're looking for any like gaps or discrepancies in the students' like just academic profile, where we can make recommendations for how we can help that child. Usually, they're based on the parents' concerns, and parents coming in and saying, my child doesn't like doing homework, what's the matter? And we're looking to see what those gaps are.
Just to put a plug in there, if you're interested in that, before Megan goes to maternity, and also after she returns, she is a master at it. Like, she's such a great mentor to learn from, and she's so skilled at it. I've worked with a lot of teachers and psychologists in the 10 years that I taught, and I have never seen someone like put pieces of puzzles together like Megan has. So it's a real joy to learn from her.
Thank you, Sabrina. So we're gonna have to revise and kind of skip over this 30-minute block of a core values exercise. What we'll do is we'll just kind of build that in kind of casually into our closing here, and we'll let you guys. I'm assuming you guys are gonna need a little time to look at your schedule and make those changes. If you can get this back to Sam by the end of this week, that would be great. As far as the summertime too, if you're not 100% sure about summer, give us the top part back and get back to us with the bottom, just feedback when you have it ready. But just keep in mind, we're gonna be